Living alone as a senior, the surprising truth. What if you fall and no one's there to help you? Don't you get lonely all by yourself? Is it really safe for someone your age to live alone? These scary questions haunt many older adults. The thought of living alone in your later years can feel frightening. Society often paints a grim picture. Seniors living alone are seen as lonely, vulnerable, and at risk. But what if everything you've been told about living alone as a senior is wrong? What if living alone isn't something to fear, but something that could bring you more joy, freedom, and peace than you've had in years? In this video, we're going to explore 7 surprising benefits of living alone as an older adult. You'll discover why solitude might be exactly what you need to truly enjoy your golden years. This isn't about ignoring real concerns. It's about showing you how living alone, when approached with the right mindset, can become one of the most rewarding chapters of your life. Stay with me until the end, because you're about to learn not just why living alone isn't scary, but how it might be the key to finding new purpose and happiness in your senior years. 1. Complete control over your space and time. When was the last time your day was truly your day? Living alone gives you something precious that many seniors haven't experienced in decades: complete control over your life. From morning until night, every decision is yours alone. No compromises, no adjustments, no one else's schedule to work around. After years of raising children, caring for others, or sharing space with a partner, this kind of freedom feels like a breath of fresh air. You decide when to wake up and when to sleep, what to eat and when to eat it, how warm or cool to keep your home, what to watch on TV and how loud to play your music, when to clean and when to relax. Take Charles, for example. At 81, he lived with his daughter's family for 5 years. Though they loved him, he always felt like a guest. He couldn't cook what he wanted, watch his shows without feeling like a bother, or even arrange his room how he liked. When he moved to a small apartment, his daughter worried. But after just weeks, Charles told her, "It's the first time in years I feel like myself." This self-control brings back dignity. It reminds you that growing older doesn't mean giving up your choices. In fact, living alone might feel like finding yourself again after years of putting others first. Of course, there will be times when you need help. That's normal. But when most of your day follows your own rhythm and rules, you feel more alive, more present, more you. In a world that often pushes seniors toward shared housing, choosing to live alone makes a powerful statement. I know who I am. I know how I want to live, and I trust myself to do it well. 2. Finding peace in quiet moments. There's a special kind of quiet that comes with living alone. And in that quiet, many seniors discover something unexpected: inner peace. When your home is silent and your time is your own, something beautiful happens. Your thoughts settle, your feelings rise gently to the surface. And in this stillness, you begin to hear yourself clearly, perhaps for the first time in years. Living alone doesn't mean being lonely. In fact, solitude can be rich and fulfilling if you approach it with an open mind. Without someone else's constant presence or voice, you reconnect with what truly matters to you, your memories, hopes, and even your regrets. Florence, 84, spent most of her life surrounded by family, kids, grandkids, and neighbors. Her house was always bustling with activity. When her youngest son moved out and she found herself alone for the first time in decades, she panicked. "I didn't know who I was without someone else around," she admitted. But within 6 months, something remarkable happened. Florence started journaling, taking nature walks, and even meditating, something she used to laugh at. "I've met parts of myself I never knew existed," she shared, "and I like who I'm meeting." That's the hidden power of living alone. It strips away distractions and creates space for self-discovery. You learn to comfort yourself, entertain yourself, and truly listen to your body and spirit. In that listening, many seniors find healing they never thought possible. Not every day will feel perfect. Some days might feel heavy, others light, but all of them will be yours. And when you grow comfortable in your own company, the fear of being alone loses its power. You realize you aren't empty or forgotten. You are whole, complete, and exactly where you need to be. 3. Building better relationships. Here's something surprising. Living alone can actually improve your relationships with others. When no one shares your home, the connections you maintain become truly meaningful. You're not spending time with people just because they're there or out of habit. You reach out because you want to, and others do the same for you. This shift creates deeper, more authentic friendships that many people don't experience until later in life. When you live alone, you control your social energy. You decide when to see people and when to rest, who deserves your time and attention, how long to visit before heading home. There's no pressure to entertain or respond to someone just because they're in the next room. This freedom allows you to be fully present when you do connect with others. You listen better. You share more openly. Your conversations come from genuine interest, not obligation. Everett, 83, had lived in a busy household most of his adult life. After his wife passed and his children moved away, he found himself alone for the first time in 50 years. At first, he dreaded the silence. But as time passed, something changed. He started calling old friends just to chat. He joined a book club at the library. He sent handwritten letters to his grandchildren. "I'm alone more," he said one day, "but I feel more connected than I have in years." That's the magic of choosing your connections intentionally. You stop going through the motions of socializing. Instead, you nurture relationships that truly matter, whether with old friends, neighbors, or new acquaintances at the senior center. Each interaction holds more meaning because it's your choice, and that choice builds confidence. It reminds you that living alone doesn't mean being isolated. You're engaged. You're connected. You're building a social life based on quality, not convenience. If you worry that living alone means being forgotten, consider this. It might actually bring you closer to the people who truly matter, creating deeper bonds than you've had in years. 4. Living by your natural rhythm. One of the greatest joys of living alone is following your body's natural rhythm. When no one shares your space, there's no need to adjust meal times to suit someone else, keep the house warmer or cooler than you prefer, stay quiet in the morning to avoid disturbing others, stay up later than you want for company. Instead, you move through each day based on how you feel, your energy, your hunger, your mood. There's something deeply healing about this alignment with yourself. You're no longer shaped by someone else's habits. You wake when you're rested. You eat when you're hungry. You rest when you're tired. In doing so, you begin listening to your body again, a skill many people lose after decades of putting others first. June, 79, spent most of her adult life adjusting to her husband's night owl schedule. Dinner was always late. The TV played until midnight. She never realized how much this affected her until she found herself living alone. Within months, she naturally started waking with the sun, walking before breakfast and going to bed by 9 p.m. "I feel 10 years younger," she said. "Turns out I was always a morning person. I just never had the chance to live like one." That's what living alone gives you. A return to your authentic self. It may seem small, but it brings enormous peace. You don't have to explain your habits or match someone else's pace. You simply live as you are, when you are. This natural rhythm improves everything. Your sleep, your digestion, your mood, even your sense of purpose. When you honor your body's timing, you feel more in tune with life itself. You stop rushing. You stop pushing yourself. You stop bending out of shape just to keep peace. Instead, you create peace from within by living in harmony with your true nature. 5. Freedom from difficult family dynamics. Living alone offers something many seniors don't expect: emotional relief. As we age, many find themselves living with adult children, in-laws, or other family members, often out of necessity or cultural expectations. While some of these arrangements are loving and supportive, others create tension, stress, or even quiet suffering. When you live under someone else's roof or have others under yours, you sacrifice emotional freedom. You might hold your tongue to keep peace, feel like a guest in your own home, sense that you're being watched or managed, walk on eggshells to avoid conflict. This constant emotional strain wears you down over time, damaging your confidence and sense of self. Henry, 82, moved in with his daughter's family after a hospital stay. Everyone had good intentions, but he felt trapped. "I felt like I was on someone else's schedule," he shared. "Every move I made felt like I needed permission. I wasn't sick anymore, but I wasn't free either." Eventually, Henry moved to a small apartment nearby. Though he had fewer physical comforts, he finally felt at ease again. That ease matters deeply. Emotional safety is just as important as physical safety. Sometimes the best thing for your health is creating distance from the stress of constant negotiation, unspoken resentment, or feeling like a burden. Living alone removes this emotional tension. You don't have to navigate complicated family dynamics every day. And while solitude doesn't solve every problem, it removes a major source of stress: the pressure to manage relationships under your own roof. This space allows you to reconnect with your values and trust your instincts again. You stop questioning every choice because someone might disapprove. In that freedom, peace grows not because everything is perfect, but because you finally have room to breathe. 6. Growing stronger. Through independence. Living alone in your senior years builds something valuable. Resilience. When you handle daily life without relying on someone else under the same roof, you develop deeper trust in yourself. Tasks that once seemed daunting, changing light bulbs, managing bills, or handling unexpected repairs, become little victories that say, I can still do this. This confidence doesn't appear overnight. It builds gradually with each small success. And the more you embrace your independence, the stronger you feel, not just physically, but emotionally. You realize that age doesn't define what you can do. You might move slower or need different approaches, but you're still capable. You're still in charge. You're still writing your own story. Lorraine, 85, had never lived alone until her husband passed away. She was terrified. For the first time, she had to handle finances, talk to repairmen, and manage medications by herself. But within a year, something changed. She started keeping a small notebook of every task she completed, no matter how small. I wanted to prove to myself I could do it, she explained. That notebook became a record of victories. Each entry reminded her that she was stronger than her fears. This is what happens when you live alone with purpose. You grow stronger not because life gets easier, but because you get clearer about who you are and what you can still do. You stop waiting for others to fix problems. You stop doubting yourself. This kind of self-reliance is quiet but powerful. It shows in how you speak. Move and see yourself not as someone barely getting by, but as someone living with strength and purpose. Living alone doesn't mean never needing help. It means not needing permission to be who you are. 7. Rediscovering old passions and new interests. Living alone gives you space to remember who you were before life got so busy. When your home is quiet and your time is yours, forgotten passions often resurface. Old hobbies, creative projects, simple pleasures that were pushed aside during years of work, caregiving, or compromise. With time and space, these interests call you back. Many seniors are surprised to find that living alone awakens their curiosity again. Without others filling your hours, you start filling them yourself, not out of duty, but desire. Maybe it's painting, gardening, writing, or playing music. Maybe it's something you always wanted to try but never could because someone else's needs came first. Ralph, 80, ran a hardware store most of his life. After retiring and losing his wife, he found himself alone and unsure what to do with the silence. One day, he picked up watercolor paints his granddaughter had left behind. Within months, he was painting every morning. I didn't even know I liked this, he shared. Now it's how I start my day, with color. These discoveries aren't just hobbies, they're transformative. They remind you that you're still growing, still learning, still capable of joy and surprise. And often, it's living alone that creates space for these discoveries. When no one else sets the tone of your day, you can finally follow your own interests. It's not just about being productive. Sometimes it's finding comfort in small pleasures, like rewatching favorite movies, rereading beloved books, or cooking special meals just the way you like them. These personal rituals strengthen your sense of self. They remind you that you're not just passing time. You're creating meaning. When you live alone, each day becomes a blank page, and you choose how to fill it. In doing so, you rediscover not just what you love, but who you truly are when no one is watching. The truth about living alone. As we finish this video, remember one simple truth. Living alone in your senior years isn't something to fear. It's something to understand, embrace, and often to celebrate. The real question isn't whether you live with others or by yourself. It's whether you're living fully, authentically, and with purpose. When you reclaim your time, space, and voice, life begins to feel truly yours again, perhaps for the first time in decades. We've explored 7 powerful benefits of living alone. 1. Complete control over your space and time. 2. Finding peace in quiet moments. 3. Building better relationships. 4. Living by your natural rhythm. 5. Freedom from difficult family dynamics. 6. Growing stronger through independence. 7. Rediscovering old passions and new interests. Each benefit reminds us that solitude isn't emptiness. It's space for growth, healing, and self-respect. If you're currently living alone and wondering if it's right for you, know this: you aren't behind. You aren't broken. You aren't missing out. You're simply in a different season of life, one with its own beauty and wisdom. If you're considering living alone but fear the unknown, understand that it's not isolation waiting for you. It's possibility. You're not too old to begin again. You're not too late to find peace. You are certainly not too alone to live meaningfully. Every day you choose to show up for yourself, to care, to reflect, to grow is a day you're choosing real life. Not just survival, but life with dignity, freedom and purpose. Thank you for watching today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment sharing one thing you learned and how you might use it. Your thoughts matter to us. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need this message. Your support helps us create more content to inform and inspire you. We'll see you in the next video.